Tradition lives here. Okanagan Sun Football with Ryan Waters.
The Okanagan Sun will be represented this weekend at the annual CFL entry draft. Left tackle Danny Watkins, who played in Kelowna in 2007, could be selected as high as the 4th overall pick and could wind up a Saskatchewan Rough Rider. Although just 3 short seasons ago, Watkins strolled into the Okanagan Sun camp not knowing what a three-point stance was. He now finds himself with not only CFL interest, but NFL as well. He is currently playing in the NCAA for Baylor University in Texas and tells us what life is like playing football in the great state of Texas.
You'd never believe the fan support. It's unreal, and just playing in the Big 12 conference, it's something else as well. You're playing against the top athletes every Saturday. There's nothing tops that. You
walk out in the stadium, there's 100,000 fans. Does the blood start pumping right away?
Yeah, well, your ears start ringing first, and you get a bit of you get the goosebumps, and you really got to get your A game on, because when you can't exactly hear the center say go, you're kind of looking out of one eye to see when the ball gets moved, and you're looking out the other to see if there's a blitz or something coming, so your quarterback doesn't get smoked. So, yeah, it's definitely loud.
Your head's got to be on a swivel, I would imagine. I want to talk about this weekend now. You're ranked top 10 for the CFL draft. What do you think of that? What does that mean to you?
That's definitely a privilege and an honor. 3 years ago, I never would have seen that coming down the pipe. That's for sure. So, it's kind of exciting for me and the family. It's, like I said, that's something I never would have seen coming.
Are you going to get a chance to watch the CFL draft on TV? I know you're down there in Texas, but and this weekend there may be some football. But are you going to get a chance to watch it, or are you going to be sitting by your phone?
I'm going to be living life as normal down here. We're getting ready for big things with Baylor, and I got a lot of roles and responsibilities I got to fill down here. So I'm just going to treat it as any other weekend, and when the phone rings, I'm definitely going to have it with me. But it's hard to pick up Canadian broadcasting down here, too. You'd think it'd kill someone to play a hockey game down here, a Canucks game. But
well, listen, I want to talk about the NFL, because there's some interest there as well, that you've been to a few camps. Just talk about the NFL experience, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, it's that's definitely the long-term goal. The CFL is great, but, the NFL is something unreal. 2 years ago, Jason Smith was the number 2 draft pick. J.D. Walton, our center this year, he just got picked up by the Broncos. He left today to go to their camp. And there's been some teams here, I guess that have, I haven't really talked with them too much, but that have expressed interest, and I've been watching film, and so it's definitely exciting. So I'm trying not to think about it too much and just keep my eye on the main prize, and that's winning some games at Baylor here.
When you go to these camps, when scouts talk to you, when coaches talk to you, what do they tell you your strengths are?
I'm not the tallest guy, playing left tackle, but they seem to like the intensity, and Coach Browse is always praising me for, it's going to sound kind of crude, but being mean. It definitely makes the defensive end think twice about doing an inside move, and you're going to get him and put him in the dirt. So that seems to be the big praise, what they're telling me.
When you were playing for the Okanagan Sun, and I told the Okanagan Sun training staff that I was going to be talking to you today, they wanted me to ask you about your wingspan. Has anybody mentioned about your wingspan? It's apparently quite large.
Well, what I lack in my typical left tackle, I'm not 6'7" by any means, but I got the wingspan of a 7-foot guy, so that makes up for it. It definitely helps. When they're trying to run the hoop on you, you can grab them and pull them in. They're not expecting that. So, no, it definitely helps.
Okay, so this weekend you got the CFL draft. The NFL has had some interest. Now, all things equal, pay, everything like that, if everything was equal, where would you want to play? What city?
If everything was equal?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a really good question. I grew up in Kelowna, and, I still got a lot of good friends and family there. And, I've made a lot of good friends, in California, and I've made a lot of good friends in Texas. But, nothing tops Texas football. I'd probably want to stay in Texas. But, I'm proud to be a Canadian, so if I had to pick the two, I'd probably want to come back to Canada.
Mm-hmm. So wherever you go, whatever you're doing, are you going to keep your eye on the Okanagan Sun in the 2010 season?
Absolutely. No, I always speak with Mac Weinsau and just see how he's doing and keep up with that. I know he got hurt, and it's kind of a bummer for him. But like I said, the friends that you make with the Sun, those are the guys that you'll stick with the rest of your life. Reed Alexander, he was the guy ahead of me when I was coming out to try and play with the Sun. I ended up being his roommate. He's one of my best friends still. And I'm sure whenever I do settle down and get married, him and Mac will be one of the two guys standing next to me on the wedding day. So I mean, like I said, those are the friends that you'll never forget.
That's Sun alum Danny Watkins, who could be selected in the top 5 this weekend in the CFL entry draft, and would be only the second first-rounder in Sun franchise history. Until next time, I'm Ryan Waters.